crazy. We all understand that if there's not an element of fun within the things that we do, there's not much point to everything. I always say the reason for living is to make your dreams become a reality. Nothing else matters. Um, and part of that is having things around you that creating experiences that you enjoy.
Mm.
Yeah, so not really having things, but creating experiences. Experiences is what we remember, and experiences usually means doing different things, a variety of things. Um, when 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 your job becomes the same thing every day, what you did 3 weeks ago on Tuesday it's not really very important anymore because all the days become the same a lot of the time. So
Mhm.
this is why the experiences that we have matter, and that we have to get we have to be serious about some things, but not serious about other things as well. It everything matters, but then sometimes it's not important
Mhm. Mhm.
at the same time. It's difficult to get that balance right as well. Some people are we've all met people who are too serious about everything, and we've all met people who are not serious enough about certain topics either. So it's yeah, I think we also have to be ourselves as well. Um, there's
Mhm.
and that's a difficult element for a lot of people because especially thoughtful people have a lot of things going on within their head, I think, and it's it's usually good to have some group of people around about us where we can, talk and let off some steam in some way. Although I always think it should be constructive as well, because if you there's a lot of social groups where people talk and they say things, but things stay the same. Yeah, they stay the same.
Mhm.
They don't progress, or people continually have the same problems. This is something which personally bothers me when they're not being honest with themselves. So people say that they want to solve certain things, but do they really? Do they really want to solve those problems? I think that um, just the same attachment people have to their jobs, they have to their problems, and they there's a great fear that without those problems they're going to feel uncomfortable in some kind of way, and I think that some people just don't. They don't really, you know. how how much do you really want it? That's a key question, right? Like I was working with a client about 2 years ago, and they said they said I saw this job on the internet. Should I apply for it? And I said, well, the question is not should I apply for it. The question is how much do I want it?
Mhm.
How much do you really want that job? And then, because if you really want that job, you should be prepared to do everything that you can do to get that job, and stop at, don't stop till you give 120% more than everybody else is going to give to get that job. You do everything within your power to get the job, and if you don't get it, you still try to get it. Right? You just
Mhm.
it's like how much do you really want it? And most people only want things a little bit, and they try half-heartedly. And it's a great term, half-heartedly. If only half your heart is in something, right? How far are you going to get, right? You've got to. The success requires being all in, right? Being all in. You can't half-heartedly do anything successfully. Um, like a kind of skateboarder perform a difficult trick half-heartedly. No, you have to be all in, right? Kind of downhill skiers, in a race ski half-heartedly. No, you have to give everything. And there's a lot of people living half-hearted lives. They're not putting themselves fully into what they do, and there's lots of different reasons for that. Um, so there's there, usually it's because people get things given to them and they don't learn that you everything everything that's good comes from going out and making things happen. I think nothing good comes easy, right? Nothing good comes easy. Um, it's a contradiction with relationships, right? If it's all really easy, maybe you should ask some more questions about things. And it doesn't mean that the relationship should be hard either, you know? It just means that
Mhm.
it just means you have to be prepared to solve the problems you need to solve. How much do you really want it? How much do you want to get to the next level? How much do you want a job? How much? And people leave a lot of things to chance because there's a lot of distraction in life. I have this question with myself. I had this question last night. Should I spend an hour with my kids, or should I spend an hour watching a film that I want to watch just because it's relaxing for myself, or should I spend an hour on personal development and getting information to how, what is the
I had
most
just an hour or
well that was just because there was a space in my time yesterday evening, right? So it's because I'm very time conscious and time focused with what I do. I try to make sure that each hour is consciously about something specific. And
Mhm.
a lot of people do this automatically. Some people it's just the way that they are. I'm not like that. I got to be really conscious because if I'm not conscious about how I spend my time, I get distracted very easily by things that are not so important, and I don't want and that's fine every now and then because it takes people in different directions. But it's the question is always how much do you want it, and if the person is not doing something specifically, if the person says they want to change but they're not doing anything to change, they don't really want it. They just want sympathy, right? For
Ah.
yeah, they they want sympathy because that's what their experience tells them is what they need. But again, the question is, how does someone really know what they need? I would just start with how much do you want it? Did you really want it? Is
Mm.
why do you want it? Is it going to work for you? We often think that things will work for us and they work against us. Um, you have to be kind to yourself as well. You have to. We we have to be we, we have to be kind enough to ourselves to care for ourselves when we need to care for ourselves. In the sense that we want to give ourselves challenges, but we don't want to hurt ourselves because hurt people. Yeah.
Mhm.
So the pain that a person causes to somebody else is only a reflection of their own pain that they can't express inside. Um, um, and that's an example of that's actually an example of the greater mission, where the it manifests itself most clearly in something like boxing, where
Mhm.
you're never really fighting the other fighter. You're fighting the demon within yourself. And to beat the other person, you must first gain control over yourself, which is defeating the negative side of your own self, or gaining control over it rather than defeating it, because you can't completely defeat it. You can only gain some level of control over it. And causing pain to somebody else is just a manifestation of the pain that you already feel within yourself. It comes out as frustration. Yeah. Like when people are angry and explode, it's because it's building up within them. It's about them. My anger with anybody else is not about them. It's about me.
Mhm.
Because why be angry with anybody about anything, right? Right? Because my anger is just a statement of my own state. It's just how I feel about something.
Mm.
And it can be righteous because it's anger is positive a lot of the time because it's honest. Yeah, people want to suppress their feelings, and that just leads to them not being honest about certain things. Like I always tell people what I think, and people get offended, and I'm like, fuck you being offended, right? Would you rather I lied and told a half truth? Do you like my dress? No, I think it's really shit, to be honest. But but the great thing is, that my opinion doesn't matter.
Mm.
What I tell people, I'm like, I don't like it, but the good thing is that my opinion doesn't really matter a whole lot. So that's okay, right? Because maybe more people like it, and I'm not here to win a popularity contest. Because I'm not going to win. Because I'm going to say what I don't like. And yeah, that that that's the good element that comes out of those horrible TV programs like Who's Got Talent, or How to Build Your Business, or Shark Tank, or whatever, where the people are just honest and they say, look, I mean, that's a really terrible idea, or that's not going to go anywhere. And I think people, yeah, go back to school, right? It's yeah, it's
Mm.
and sometimes um, I think more often than not, we need the challenge of that honesty. Because if the person is really listening, then they ask for more. Or they would, if a person is really listening, they're going to say, "Okay, that's interesting. Tell me more." Or they're going to push back a little, but not just push back with opinion, but real, real conversation is feedback with data and information and explanation and and resources. A lot of people are going to tell you. A lot of people are going to tell you what they think, what they feel, and what their opinion is. But that doesn't change anything.
Mhm.
It really doesn't change anything. So, because once again, to have a better quality of life, you need some kind of intellectual focus. Um, it to a certain extent, and feelings matter. And I do personally base quite a few of my choices on, I wouldn't say specifically feelings, I would say awareness about topics. Yeah, so maybe I don't know all the details, but I'm aware of what is happening. I'm aware of the
Mhm.
direction that things are going in. I'm aware of what is relevant, what is pertinent, what is important, and that is that is a good guide to have. There's